Hello, everybody. I'm Alan Chang, co-founder at NFTmeta.com. Welcome to NFTmeta.com podcast. With us today is a very well-known, globally well-known scholar, Dr. Shirley Yeung, who's an expert in CSR and impact investing. She has published extensively. She has won many awards. And she also knows a lot about global blockchain financial technology, including non-fungible tokens. And so thank you, Dr. Yeung, for joining us today. You're the head of the business school at Gracia Christian College in Hong Kong. Can you tell us a little bit more about the college and your role there?
Okay, so nice to meet you, Alan, in the internet here. So actually, our Gracia Christian College is the UN Prime. So Prime will be PRME, Principle for Responsible Management Education, is a member since 2017. When we talk about UN Prime member, it means you need to commit about the 6 principles, like purpose, to have the value, research, ongoing dialogue, partnership, and how are you using the principle in your curriculum and also in develop like a global citizenship. So since like about maybe 20 years ago, I started to publish CSR, Chinese and also English. So I have been helping my previous university, Hang Seng University, to get CSR award about maximum 5 score for 2 years. And after that, about 6 years ago, I moved to Russia and served as a school dean. So school head, we have 2 programs. One is about the 4-year degree program, service management, which is focused on design the process. And I study in the Harvard School of Design about design thinking for solutions. And the other program I designed is about 2-year program, transformative business management, which is about 3 or 4 years ago before the COVID. And at that time, I think the world keep on changing, and we need to think about on the right side is about creativity. On the left side is about system thinking, because I'm the ISO auditor over 20 years. So I think within a framework, we still need to have some kind of creativity to find out sustainable solutions. So that's why I think in School of Business, because of the member for UN Prime, we need to write a lot of disclosure report, serving about the 6 principles, so that people know the curriculum and also about the students that we are going to groom with some kind of up-to-date knowledge, skills, and values. And the other side is bring on my ISO experiences in the past 20 years and bring back to this college. This college, we are going to serve like social inclusion, and also we think about how to serve the community and develop students with servant leadership. So based on your passion, and we have been have a lot of reporting in the Asia Week magazine about our movie, have been produced 6 times, and also we have the ongoing webinar with different branches of UN, UNESCO Hong Kong, UN OSSC, UN Prime, UN ASEAN. Thank you, Ellen.
Excellent. Excellent, Dr. Yeung. Now, you're a globally recognized expert in CSR and impact investing. And of course, you graduated from the School of Design at Harvard University. Can you tell us a little bit about what drew you to these 2 areas, CSR and impact investing? How did you end up becoming experts in these 2 areas?
Okay. I think because we just follow about the trend of the teenagers and also the community, people how to think. And then we talk about digital transformation. So when we talk about how to see sustainable solutions, has to be based on experiential learning. And on one side will be more on humanistic. We need to observe what are the issues coming up. And then the technology is actually a kind of tools, okay, to help us to do something maybe easier, faster, or maybe to great impact. But the thing is about your heart, your mindset. How you can use empathy, life circle, thinking about if you are the issue, the stakeholder there. So what happened to you? How you want to have a better solution for the future. So that's why every month I have the virtual seminar and invited a lot of speakers who will be talking about using SDGs, environmental, social, and economic to find out solutions. So, right now, UN have the Ocean Conference coming coming up. Yeah. And I was invited on Thursday to a side event speech, which is about waste, pollution, and also the collection. So I think curriculum has to be attached with globalization, but also they need to have localization with stakeholder think from the viewpoint of empathy. And then finally, the solution has to be not just localized, and then going back to globalized. So it's just like a funnel. To have a global mindset, realize what's going on. So that will be the UN platform, all those. But you need to have observation here. And then after that funnel narrow down, go back to your home country or maybe your partnership country. What are the issues, your stakeholder, using a kind of empathy? And then going back, the solution has to be generic and applicable to other countries so that they can follow some kind of good practices.
Excellent, Dr. Yeung. You recently joined the Impact NFT Alliance, which is a Hong Kong-based industry group that advocates charitable causes of impact investing using non-fungible tokens. And you joined as a board advisor to this group. Can you tell us why you joined this group as a board advisor?
Yep. When we talk about NFT and sandbox, all those, I have two kind of thinking. One will be because I'm not coming from the technology area, but I think NFT can create the awareness of authentic values, uniqueness. But the thing is about values. If we're using NFT is for educational purpose, or maybe creating new job, or thinking about I do a lot of drawings, and then you want to prove, that kind of drawing is only coming from me. It's just like that, using the IP concept, intellectual property rights. So I think it's good. There was a big market because not too many regulatory body compliance talking about this area. And then I do a lot of research. I talk about the coming job, maybe about the content creator, NFT advisor, maybe blockchain, the content, women in technology, about how to create a story, all those. So I think using for marketing purpose, social inclusion, and under COVID-19, a lot of artists or art-related, the people, they cannot maybe do their museum business or art-related to avoid the crowd. So that's why virtual may be a way out. But on the other side, we need to think about virtual cannot be a long term because we need to have human touch. We need to have some kind of interaction to understand each other. So that will be a balance between virtual and also reality. So regulatory body, and also when you talk about decentralization, how are we going to trace back the transaction? So that area is not my expertise, but I think we need to have more research and more communication, how to avoid risk. Because if we are going to talk about the financial tsunami, all those, we talk about CSR, also talk about CSI, corporate social irresponsible. So the UN SDGs number 12 is about responsible production and consumption. So using NFT on one side, you educate the consumer how to use it for different kind of purposes. But as a producer, if you have the platform for NFT, you need to think about decentralized compliance. What are all the risk area? And then you need to have a mechanism to avoid all those kind of risks. And then you need to educate your similar partner or community if something happens, and then you can also, take a very proactive and preventive measures.
Excellent, Dr. Yeung. Which leads to our final question is, how do you think NFTs will develop in the future, and what role can they play for talented, creative industries, and especially for NGOs that wish to utilize them for charitable causes?
I think for the future, a lot of people put NFT together with Web 3.0 and together with blockchain and Bitcoin. So a lot of all those terminology is quite confusing. And then when we talk about curriculum in higher education or secondary, even like my mentor is a very young little kid, just only about 13 or 14. But he can play around with coding and create a lot of online games with a lot of followers. So the thing is, but their values may not be very consistent and realized, because the life experiences is not much compared with us, right? So that's why we need to transform, will be learn something from the younger generation. but we need to pass about the values to them. Maybe they're good at technology, but what are the values? What kind of thing we need to stick into? Say, for example, how many we spend, these are too big, the values. If we are going to put the values into actions, into the curriculum, so people will realize that. However, if we look across the board, like primary education, secondary education, do we have a course to combine values with technology? So that's why I joined NFTs for Sustainable Impact Movement, because I've been doing a lot of things in the past 20 or 30 years. So when we go further, how to escalate? Measure impact is so hard to do it. It can be quantitative. It's not just talking about how many times of the seminar you've been holding. It's about the influence, behavioral changes. And also the people behavior will also change along with the environment that they're facing, with the challenges that they handle. Even though maybe you can persistent on some kind of values, if the external business environment is going to be changed, can you think about whether you still can uphold your values? So I think we need to educate them. Will be about sustainable, not just any solution. It's about the impact. Say, for example, I work on the women and also youth in developing country or in Kenya, all those. I think they lack of opportunity to learn. And then if we are going to leave nobody behind, how are we going to contribute? If a lot of professors or maybe higher level, okay, are they really committed to spend the time to help the developing country and think about the sustainable impact? I think it's very difficult. But for me, I always told myself, we need to do something regularly, no matter 10 years, 20 years. And then the impact will be accumulated. So most of my students or maybe the UN winner, they follow me for many years because they can see some of the changes or the partnership or the entrepreneurship opportunities they can create. If they don't have that kind of outsider to give them the input, how to think like Harvard people to create a community, they lack of those kind of opportunities. But once we give them a little water, nurture, and help them to change their life, then the one leader or one, just like TQM, one person maybe generate 80% of the influence. So I think impact NFT or maybe your NFT matter will be exaggerate about the impact. But we need to think about what kind of impact. Maybe like a product life cycle. Within the 2 years, we want to create an impact for women in tech. And then go further. Women in tech, in what kind of tech? In understanding NFT or in creating job in NFT? So narrow down. So after maybe 2 years measurement on the impact, then maybe we can talk about women, then go to youth. Youth in NFT, youth in the NFT curriculum. So step by step, we can have a framework and create it to people that with a white paper, purple paper, we need to measure the statement in the purple paper. Can you do that? How are you going to do that? Not just need to talk about the statement, but we need to have the action to measure the statement, whether you've been committed and have ongoing project, and those kind of stakeholders can tell you some kind of feedback, like close the loop. So that will be a kind of mechanism for joining the NFT.
Thank you so much, Dr. Yeung. We wish you the best of luck in your scholarly pursuits, especially in shaping the future of NFTs as well as impact NFTs, because the world needs experts like you to help create a sustainable development for NFTs globally, and not boom and bust cycles that leads to booms and collapses that we see in the capital markets today. Thank you so much for joining us today, Dr. Yeung.
Thank you, Ellen. Okay, bye.